So, Leicester Tigers vs Harlequins. Finally, the proper start of the season. Obviously, internationals back, a few injuries, but our full squad basically back. First time Dan McKellar has been able to properly coach most of these players this week. Let's just count the last 4 weeks or so, and the season starts properly now, doesn't it? And a tough first assessment for the internationals against Harlequins, currently in second. Obviously, we're down in ninth. They've won 3 out of 4 of the games so far. And for me, this feels like a must-win. It really does. Feels like a must-win if we want to get into that top 4. If we lose this one, it's a massive mountain to climb. There's not that many games in the season. Like, we'll be quarter way through the games almost come Saturday. Tomorrow rather. Into the teams then. So, as I said, internationals back. So we've gone back line of Brown, Stewart, Kelly, Catter, Bassett, Pollard and Youngs. Could talk about every single one of those players, but obviously brilliant to see Stewart back. Personally, not a massive fan of him on the wing. I think he's get the best out of him at fullback, but maybe some injury reasons for that. Obviously Kelly and Catter, centre partnership. They obviously finished the game against Saracens last weekend, and Catter looked absolutely brilliant, exactly what we're missing. Can't remember the last time we actually had this kind of big ball carrying 12 for us. It's been quite a while. Kelly at 13 has only started twice for Tigers at 13. And the stat here is both those times when we got absolutely thumped. So he averages 47 points conceded when he starts at 13. Hopefully we don't have that tomorrow. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine there. He's a very intelligent, very good centre. I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine at 13. I'm sure they'll quite interchange quite a bit as well in attack and defence. Josh Bassett moving to the left wing, something he hasn't done for Tigers yet, but is what he's played most of his career. So if we see him more ball in hand, hasn't had many touches so far. But then the big two, the big one first of all, Andre Pollard. The beautiful man is back in the 10 shirt. What can you say about him? Just outstanding player. World Cup, has won 2 World Cups now. Obviously those clutch kicks, we all know about that. Obviously ruined our hearts a little, but when we were playing that brilliant rugby after Christmas last season, he was a lot to thank for it. So hopefully we'll see more of that on tomorrow. And Ben Young's just, brilliant to have him back involved. For the pack, he's gone Van Veek, Clare, Cole, Henderson, Chesham, Liebenberg, Reffel and Visa. Probably the surprise of the lot almost is seeing Francois Van Veek start. He's been decent. I think he's, especially start of the season, we saw him a lot with ball in hand, carried hard, scored a few tries in the Premiership Cup as well. And scrum, he seems to be a bit more, just done pretty well so far, but wasn't expecting him to start. But obviously McKellar's taken that choice. Obviously brilliant to see Dan Cole there up against Joe Marler yet again. It's always entertaining when them two go head to head. Brilliant to see him. Ollie Chesham in a Tigers shirt for the first time I think since January, which is just absolutely bonkers. Obviously came back from that horrific injury and was brilliant at the World Cup. Going to be brilliant to see him tomorrow. Obviously him and Henderson are going to have a busy afternoon. The line out was absolutely atrocious last week, so hopefully only up from there. And then finally Jasper Visa. Just, I feel like he's the most important player for us. Obviously we all heard the rumours that sadly he could be off. We all hope that somehow a deal can be sorted out. But I think Jasper Visa, we've been missing him loads. He just gives you that front foot ball, even from terrible ball or when there's not much on. Just give him the ball, he'll give you a good chance. It's going to be brilliant to see him out there in a Tigers shirt again, now a World Cup winner. And then onto the bench, gone Vanes, Cronin, Hurd, Carter, Rogerson, Whiteley, Atkinson and Scott. I think the surprise of the lot for me was seeing Archie Vanes in the 16 jersey. As soon as he started on Wednesday against Oxford Uni, so I'm presuming there's some sort of injury to Nick Dolly to see him not on the bench. But brilliant for Archie, another academy graduate who is in line to make his Prem debut. And I said before, slightly surprising that James Cronin isn't starting, but McKellar's obviously got a plan. As the Harlequins have a brilliant, I think they've got the best scrum in the league actually, so it's going to be important in the second half. And then finally, Matt Scott, seen him out there for the first time. Obviously had a pretty serious injury. It's going to be brilliant to see him out there. Obviously one of our most important and just consistent players of the last couple of seasons. So it's a very strong team, isn't it? Great to see internationals back. I'm sure they'll be up for it. They'll have seen probably watched the games. They'll have seen that we've been struggling a little bit. They'll know that a win is a must. And yeah, super excited to see them 23 out tomorrow. Onto the Quins side. So they've gone for David, Green, Beard, Ayanwu, Liner, Smith and Porter. Obviously a standout there is Marcus Smith. We all know the type of style of play he plays for Quins. He's a brilliant player, ball in hand. And him and Green obviously combined beautifully last week. That finish by Green was probably one of the best finishes I've ever seen. Just incredible. Yeah, it's a quick, pacey, Quins backs division, isn't it? Really, just as you expect, they're gonna want to play. It's gonna be tough to stop them. Into the pack, Marler, Riley, Collier, Launchbury, Hammond, Lamb, Evans, Dombrandt. All know about Joe Marler. Just Joe Marler. Launchbury is obviously a big signing for them. Especially with our issues with the line out last week, he's going to be really itching to try and cause us some trouble again tomorrow afternoon. And Alex Dombrandt seems to be playing some of that brilliant rugby that he has been. Obviously didn't make the World Cup squad. I'm sure that really hurt him, and I'm sure he's going to be vying to get into that England team for the Six Nations. Onto the bench, Walker, Baxter, Lewis, Herbst, Chisholm, Kerr, Evans and Esterhazen. Obviously, Andre Esterhazen off the bench is just some power play from Quins. Obviously, he's just like a brilliant player. Obviously, Dylan Lewis is a good signing for them as well, bringing some international class off the bench. And it's a pretty scary looking 23. Pacey backs, very solid pack. As I said already, I think they got the best scrum in the league. They play attacking rugby. Like, what more do you expect from Quins? Obviously had a good start to the season, 3 from 4. Haven't actually played one of the top 4 of last season, so maybe a bit skewed in terms of results, but they've got players in form. Obviously Marcus Smith is going to be a handful. It's going to be a tough game, really tough game. Obviously they beat us last season. Was a game that didn't really matter a whole lot. Obviously last regular game of the season, but it's always a tough fixture against Quins. But match prediction, I think with the internationals that we've got back, for me, knowing it's a must win, they'll know that as well. They need to get these wins on the board. Expect a big crowd. I think Tigers by 7 personally. I think it'll be a very tight game. But I think we will sneak it by the 7. Obviously, we've just got to be more efficient inside the 22. That's the biggest issue we've had almost so far this season. Hopefully you'll see a bit more attack, obviously with Andre at 10. It's going to be a super exciting encounter. Just buzzing to be there tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully it's a good crowd.